My people, welcome back to Review Outdoors. My name's Aaron. This channel is all about doing hiking gear reviews, taking you on adventures, and just enjoying the outdoors. Today, I am reviewing two of the cheapest hiking stoves on the market today. Let's check them out. We are comparing the Ozark Trails hiking stove with the BRS 3000 ultralight hiking stove. I need to jump in here really quick and tell you guys I need your help in getting this channel to 100 subscribers by the end of March, so March 31st. And so do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and hit that like button as well. That helps the channel get out there. It helps YouTube push this video out to more people. Help me reach my goal. Back to the video. These two are comparable in price. The Ozark Trail is about $5 cheaper than the BRS. So the Ozark Trails stove by itself is $12.99, I believe. There are different packages you can get with this, and it's not just Ozark Trails. Ozark Trails has branded it, but there's other companies that put this out as well. You can find this stove on Amazon. You can find it a lot of places. You can get it with a cook pot. You can get it in a 4-pack with a stand for your canister, and also with a adapter to go onto one of those green propane tanks. So this can actually run propane as well if you have that adapter. That's really nice. So I would encourage you to do that. But for the base model, you're going to pay $12.99 for this. And this stove has not failed me yet. It's been a great stove. And then we're going to talk about the BRS 3000 stove. This is an ultralight stove. This is very light, and we're going to go over that in a minute. But let's start off with the Ozark Trails stove. I like this thing a lot. As I said, this was the first stove I purchased. It's light enough. All right, it's light enough, especially for a weekend backpacker. If you're not a weight weenie, you don't really need to worry too much about the weight. I really do like that it has a built-in igniter. It's just functional. It folds down nice and small. It comes with its own hard shell case. Right here, it comes in this case, and it just works. It just works. Now in a minute, I'm actually going to compare the boil time between the Ozark Trails stove and the BRS stove, and we're also going to compare weight. And there's a few different factors that you need to consider when you're considering a stove. That's about it for this stove. However, I think it's got a 3000 BTU rating, I believe. On Walmart's website, it says that it's got a rated speed of 3000 W, which I don't know what that means. It also says on here that it's 9 grams or 3.2 ounces. That's really the only information I have because I don't have the packaging for this, but it's a nice stove for what it is, for the price. Now these little arms here sometimes do get stuck, but they do need to be all down for your pot to sit level on there. But it works really well. I've taken this on many hikes, and it does the job consistently. Now, I will say one time I did get the igniter wet, and it took a while for that to dry out, and so I did have to light it with a lighter. While that was wet, it just wouldn't work. So, with that being said, this has been a fantastic rock solid stove. I've seen some complaints online about this stove. I don't have any complaints with it as of yet. I'm gentle with my equipment. This is a cheap stove, so you're going to anything that's cheap, you're going to have to be gentle with it. And so I'm not throwing this around. I'm not throwing it in my pack or anything. I'm very gentle with my equipment in general, but especially if it's cheap. Now let's look at the BRS stove. This is the BRS 3000 ultralight stove. This is very light. I mean very light. And I've seen some really good reviews on this online and some really not so good. It's plain to me that it's definitely ultralight. So it's got the 3-arm design rather than the 4-arm design like the Ozark Trails. And my only complaint so far with this is that when you're setting it up, it's kind of clunky. You've got to turn the little valves so that it's straight out and flat in order to put up all the arms. And all the arms have to go up at once so that it can be, and see, I'm running into a problem there. So it actually, the little arm here needs to be turned up and down. And then you need to remember to turn that back to closed when you set this stove up. Otherwise, you're going to lose a bunch of gas. So then you just depress these down. They kind of lock into place. And that's it. It's a very simple stove. Very light. Very, very light. I believe this is a 3000 BTU stove as well. And like I said, we're going to test this. But first, let's check out what these things actually weigh with their stuff sack in the case of the BRS. The BRS comes with this little stuff sack here. Or the Ozark Trails with its little plastic holder here. Let's check out the weight. All right, so I have my handy dandy little scale here, and we're going to check the weight of the BRS 3000 ultralight stove with its little stuff sack. And we are at exactly 1 ounce. Now let's move that around because I am missing a foot on this scale. Exactly 1 ounce, which is very, very light. Now let's check the weight of the Ozark Trails with its case. All right, so the Ozark Trails stove weighs 3.9 ounces. So they were right on the money on Walmart's website. It does weigh 3.9 ounces. However, there's a little discrepancy here because the Ozark Trails has the built-in igniter and the BRS does not. So that means you will have to carry an extra source of ignition for the BRS stove. So let's weigh the BRS stove again with a lighter. Okay, so we've got the BRS stove on here. We've got a half-filled lighter, and we've got the stuff sack, and still the BRS only weighs 1.5 to 1.6 ounces. That is still a really good weight savings if you're a weight weenie. Now, a weight weenie is not bad, okay? They're just people that love to shave off as many ounces as possible from their pack. And so I'm not disparaging those people. There's just a lot of people that call people that love to do that stuff weight weenies online. So that's what I call you. Now we're going to test each individual stove to see how long it takes for the Ozark Trails stove to boil 16 ounces of water. And we're going to see how long it takes the BRS 3000 to boil 16 ounces of water. All right, we've got our 16 ounces of water ready in our Toaks titanium pot here. Let's fire up the stove and let's see how long it takes. So we're starting at 000, and I'm going to start the timer once I set the pot on to the already burning stove. All right. So the Ozark Trails stove took a whopping 3 minutes and 55 seconds to get 16 ounces of water to a rolling boil. Now, let's try the BRS 3000. All right, we are going to give the BRS the same chance that the Ozark Trail had, so we are going to light it and then we'll put the pot on, and once the pot is on, I will start the timer. All right. So we got to a rolling boil with the BRS 3000 at 3 minutes and 28 seconds. So about 30 seconds quicker than the Ozark Trails stove. What is my final conclusion on the difference between these two stoves? They're very comparable as far as noise level. When I was boiling the water here, they were both kind of annoying, both very loud. I have never owned a jet boil stove like these, but I know somebody and have been on several hiking trips with somebody that does have one, and the jet boil stoves are much quieter than these two stoves. However, you cannot beat the price of either one of these. The Ozark Trails at $12.99 or the BRS 3000 at $17.99. They are so cheap. I cannot state enough. If money is a worry, go with the Ozark Trails. If you just simply cannot bring yourself to spend the $17.99 to get the BRS 3000, go and spend the $12.99 for the Ozark Trails at Walmart. It's a wonderfully good stove, and if you get the package deal where you get the propane adapter, you can run this when you're just car camping. You can have this with you and run it off of propane instead of isobutane. It is wonderful. This is a wonderful stove. The BRS 3000 only runs off of isobutane. You cannot run it off of propane. So that is a drawback to this stove, but this is a lightweight, ultra lightweight hiking stove. It is meant and built for hiking. So in my opinion, the BRS stove is a better value for what you're getting, because you're getting a lighter piece of gear, and you're paying $5 more, just $5 more to cut your weight by at least 2 ounces, and that is with carrying a lighter with you and in its little stuff sack. You are spending $12.99, but this is 3.9 ounces compared to 1 ounce. All right, and 1.5 ounces with a lighter. So still, that is less than half the weight of the Ozark Trails. Now, I will say that the BRS 3000, it's a little breezy today. It did not do as well in the wind. I mean, I guess it did, because it did boil the water, the 16 ounces of water, in 30 seconds less than the Ozark Trails. So I guess wind didn't really play too much of a factor, but it sounded like it did. So you can take that with what it's worth. The BRS did a better job of getting us to a boil, of getting 16 ounces of water to a boil in 30 seconds less. It got us to a boil in 3 minutes and 28 seconds. So almost 29 seconds. So definitely is a little faster. 30 seconds is not a big deal, though. You know it and I know it. 30 seconds is not a big deal, but the weight savings is a big deal for me as a bigger hiker whose rest of the gear is heavier because of my size. I want to save weight wherever I can, and so that's where the BRS stove comes in. I purchased this stove with my own money. I also purchased the Ozark Trails with my own money. This video is not sponsored by anyone. These are my own opinions. This was not given to me for free. The BRS was not given to me for free. Neither was the Ozark Trails given to me for free. I want to do this video to help you all make the right decision for you. I don't care if you buy either one of these stoves. Maybe you'll go out and buy a big stove that weighs 5 pounds. I truly and honestly don't care if you purchase these or not. I don't care. I'm here to give you information on what I think could be the best backpacking stove if you want to cut some weight in your pack. Alright guys, that's it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe. Don't forget to hit that like button. Make sure that you share this video with all your hiking friends. Help me grow this channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.